Welcome to Chasing Curiosity TV. Subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates. The West Philippine Sea, once a tranquil expanse of blue, now bristles with warships and tension. What was once a peaceful maritime highway for fishermen and traders has transformed into a heavily militarized zone, where every wave seems to carry the weight of global rivalry. Cutting through the choppy waters, an American destroyer slices through the waves, its radar sweeping the horizon for any sign of threat or opportunity. The ship's presence is a clear signal, one of vigilance, power, and unwavering commitment to its allies. Not far away, Japan's JS Izumo helicopter carrier runs intensive drills, its deck bustling with activity as helicopters take off and land, and crew members move with practiced precision. The Izumo's operations are a reminder that Japan, too, is deeply invested in the region's security. Above, the sky is crowded with reconnaissance planes from multiple nations, each one gathering intelligence, mapping movements, and keeping a watchful eye on rivals below. The airspace is as contested as the sea itself. This is August 23, 2025, a new era for the Philippines. The nation's naval bases are abuzz with activity, as sailors prepare for missions that could shape the fate of the region. The world's superpowers converge here, their interests colliding in these contested waters. American, Chinese, and Japanese fleets maneuver in close proximity, each wary of the other, each determined to assert its influence. Australian, French, British, and German ships join the patrols, each a floating statement of national resolve. Their presence signals a united front, a coalition determined to uphold freedom of navigation and international law. For the Philippines, this influx is both reassurance and risk, turning their backyard into a global flashpoint. Fishermen who once sailed these waters freely now find themselves shadowed by warships, their livelihoods caught in the crossfire of great power competition. The front line of 21st century conflict is here. Navies maneuver, diplomats negotiate, and international law is tested daily. Every encounter, every negotiation, could tip the balance between peace and escalation. Filipino fishing grounds are now patrol zones, their coastlines under constant satellite watch. Surveillance is relentless, and the sense of vulnerability among local communities grows with each passing day. The Philippines' story is no longer just about islands and people, it's about its pivotal role in shaping the future of global power and security. The archipelago has become a crossroads where the ambitions of nations intersect, and where the next chapter of history may be written. The world is watching, because what happens here will echo everywhere. News crews from every continent report live, and headlines flash across screens, reminding us that the stakes are not just regional but truly global. The stakes are high and the margin for error is razor thin. A single miscalculation, a misunderstood signal, could ignite a crisis with consequences far beyond these waters. Every ship, every maneuver is a message, sometimes of deterrence, sometimes of defiance, always watched, always analyzed. The sea is crowded, the tension palpable. Warships pass within sight of each other, their crews alert, their missions secret, their intentions often unclear. The Philippines stands at the center of a global drama, its fate intertwined with the ambitions of empires, its people living on the edge of history. In this sea of steel, the world holds its breath, waiting to see what will come next. The South China Sea is far more than just a stretch of water on the map, it's the world's economic artery. Every day, nearly 1/3 of all global shipping, from electronics to clothing, oil to food, passes through these vital waters, connecting continents and fueling economies. Trillions of dollars in trade flow through these lanes annually, making the South China Sea a lifeline for international commerce. The sheer volume of goods moving here is staggering, and any disruption would send ripples across the globe. If these shipping routes were blocked or threatened, the consequences would be immediate and severe. Supply chains would grind to a halt, store shelves from New York to Berlin could empty, and economies would feel the shockwaves almost overnight. But the importance of the South China Sea doesn't end at the surface. Beneath the waves lie vast reserves of oil and natural gas, resources that are fiercely coveted by energy-hungry nations seeking to power their industries and homes. Control over these underwater riches means influence over Asia's economic future, and whoever holds sway here can shape the destiny of entire nations. For millions of people, the South China Sea is also a source of daily survival. It's one of the world's richest fishing grounds, providing food and livelihoods for families across the region, from small coastal villages to bustling cities. When disputes erupt, closing off fishing areas or destroying fragile coral reefs, the impact is swift and devastating. Coastal communities lose their income, and families go hungry, highlighting just how fragile this balance is. The struggle for the South China Sea is about more than territory. It's a battle for trade, energy, and food. These are the three pillars that uphold not just regional but global stability. That's why warships from distant nations patrol these waters, standing guard to ensure that this vital lifeline remains open and secure for all who depend on it. The world cannot afford to look away. Decisions made here affect everyone, from policymakers to ordinary people thousands of miles away. The stability of the South China Sea is, in many ways, the stability of the global system itself. Its future will shape the world we all share. China's 9-line claims nearly 90% of the South China Sea, overlapping the exclusive zones of its neighbors. Despite a 2016 international tribunal ruling against it, China has built artificial islands, turning reefs into military outposts. These unsinkable aircraft carriers project power and challenge freedom of navigation. Filipino fishermen report harassment and blockades by Chinese vessels, while maritime militia swarm disputed features. China's gray zone tactics assert control without open conflict, slowly normalizing its presence. The world's response, sending warships, is a clear signal. These waters are not China's alone. The US leads the pushback, conducting freedom of navigation operations near China's artificial islands. American carrier groups, submarines, and surveillance planes deter aggression and uphold a free Indo-Pacific. Japan, reliant on these sea lanes, has increased its naval presence. Joining drills with the Philippines and US. Australia, the UK, France, and Germany have sent warships, showing that South China Sea stability is a global concern. Even South Korea is stepping up, joining joint exercises and expanding security ties. This multinational fleet sends a unified message. The world insists these waters remain open. No single nation can dictate the rules here. The coalition's presence is a powerful counterbalance to China's growing footprint. The stakes are too high for silence. At the heart of the region's security response lies a complex web of alliances and partnerships, with the Philippines positioned at its very core. In the face of rising tensions and uncertainty, these alliances are more important than ever, serving as both a deterrent and a reassurance to the Filipino people. The 1951 Mutual Defense Treaty with the United States, a cornerstone of Philippine security, now explicitly extends its protection to cover any attacks in the South China Sea. This commitment means that an act of aggression against the Philippines could trigger a joint response, underscoring the seriousness of the alliance. The Enhanced Defense Cooperation Agreement, or EDCA, further strengthens this bond. It allows U.S. troops and military assets to rotate through Philippine bases, enhancing both nations' readiness and ability to respond quickly to any threat. Regular joint drills and training exercises ensure that both forces remain in sync. The establishment of new EDCA sites provides rapid access to key maritime areas, allowing for swift deployment and increased surveillance over contested waters. These bases are strategically located to maximize coverage and response time. Multilateral exercises, now featuring Australia, Japan, and France, are held regularly, building trust, improving communication, and ensuring that all participating forces can operate seamlessly together. These drills simulate real-world scenarios, preparing everyone for coordinated action. The Philippines is also forging new partnerships, signing defense agreements with Australia, and actively negotiating with Japan for expanded joint training and disaster response cooperation. These efforts broaden the country's network of support and expertise. South Korea and several European nations contribute valuable naval assets and intelligence sharing capabilities, further strengthening the region's collective security. Their involvement demonstrates a shared commitment to peace and stability. Together, this network of alliances forms a layered and resilient defense system. It sends a powerful warning to any potential aggressor. An attack on the Philippines is not just a local issue, but a challenge to a united coalition of nations. Teamwork, built on trust and shared values, is the region's shield, protecting not just the Philippines, but the broader vision of a free and open Indo-Pacific. The message is unmistakable. The Philippines stands strong, backed by friends and allies. It is not alone. Facing new threats, the Philippines is modernizing its military like never before. The Navy now fields missile-capable frigates and is acquiring more advanced ships and BrahMos cruise missiles for coastal defense. The Air Force is upgrading with new fighter jets and radar systems, enhancing patrols and early warning. Domestic defense industries are being developed for greater self-reliance. Modernization isn't just about hardware. It's about training, doctrine, and national resolve. The Philippines is taking charge of its own defense, earning new respect on the world stage. It's a statement. The nation is ready to defend its waters. For Filipino fishermen, the South China Sea dispute is personal and painful. Once rich fishing grounds like Scarborough Shoal are now zones of fear, patrolled by intimidating Chinese ships. Fishermen face harassment, confiscated catches, and shrinking incomes, pushing families into debt and forcing youth to leave home. The environmental cost is severe. Dredging and island building have destroyed vital coral reefs, threatening the region's food security. Communities suffer as livelihoods vanish and ecosystems collapse, yet resilience grows. Coast Guard escorts for fishing boats spark national pride. Every fishing trip becomes an act of defiance. The struggle for sovereignty is lived daily at sea. These stories galvanize public support and strengthen the nation's resolve. The fight for the West Philippine Sea is a fight for survival and dignity. The South China Sea is more than a territorial dispute. It's a test of the global order. If one nation can seize control, it sets a precedent for might over law, threatening peace worldwide. Control here means economic leverage, the power to disrupt trade and dictate terms to dependent nations. For Japan, South Korea, and Taiwan, this is an existential threat. Military dominance would let a single power project force deep into the Pacific, upending decades of stability. The world's navies gather to prevent this domino from falling. These waters must remain open, governed by law, not force. The outcome here will shape the future of global security. The Philippines now stands at the epicenter of a global security challenge. The struggle in the West Philippine Sea has forged a stronger national identity and pride. By championing international law and exposing coercion, the Philippines has become a standard-bearer for smaller nations. Its transparency and courage have galvanized global support. The decisions made here will shape the future of maritime law and the global order. The Philippines' actions carry weight far beyond its size. This is a defining moment, a chance to secure its territory and prove that conviction can stand against might. The world is watching as the future is written in Philippine waters.